Hello, I'm Carmen Antiqueira and I work for Making the Leap. Thank you to the organisers for inviting Making the Leap to speak at Animex, and thank you to everyone who is joining us for this talk, wherever you are. We'll be covering what Making the Leap does, how we contribute to creating a more inclusive and fairer society for all, why social mobility should be a key part of every organisation's strategy, and how the games, animation and VFX sector can start or expand their social mobility activity by partnering with us and being directly involved in our project activity and of course the SOMOs, the UK Social Mobility Awards. And at the end there'll be time for you to ask us any questions that you might have, and we look forward to hearing your questions. So a little bit about us. So who's Making the Leap? Well, we're a grassroots and social justice charity. We're passionate about improving the career prospects of young people from less privileged backgrounds, and we support organisations that wish to start their journey in social justice, which includes social mobility, and those organisations that want to build on their existing equality, diversity and inclusion or corporate social responsibility or social governance programmes. So we started back in 1993 in a small office with just a couple of staff, a couple of phones, cold calling organisations with one computer that used floppy disks and WordPerfect. That should take some of you back, I'm sure. And others will be wondering, what on earth is a floppy disk? And what is WordPerfect? Let me also tell you that there was none of this sharing screens or using Dropbox to share videos. We had an old VHS tapes, the ones that you used to have to carry around and wind with a pen. And a very heavy TV that we carried around to meetings. In the late 90s, we got one computer with internet access using a modem that made a bit of a funny sound when connecting. And I remember kids were playing on their Game Boy, if their parents could afford it. And then Xbox and the Tomb Raider games appeared. And mobile phones were literally like small heavy bricks that you carried around. I remember my first Nokia with passion and a bit of hate as well. But that's another story. Little did we know, however, that roll on 20 years, the world would have changed so much. Tech would be a part of most people's daily lives, and many of us would be working from home for a whole year. And if the barriers and divisions weren't evident enough before March 2020, the pandemic has truly highlighted the gaps in society between the haves and the have-nots. And NTL has been raising the aspirations and increasing the access to opportunities for young people from disadvantaged backgrounds for over 25 years. And we do a number of things to help improve society. We go into secondary schools that have a higher than average number of children on free school meals, and we deliver soft skills intervention. Our schools programs introduce students from disadvantaged backgrounds to professionals from the world of work so that they can feel inspired. And by knowing what's out there and what jobs people are doing, they are then able to make more informed decisions and widen their options rather than being limited to what they see around them or feel that that career that they want is so far out of reach for them that they actually end up lowering their expectations. And that's not right. For 18 to 30-year-olds from this same demographic, many of them graduates, we provide a much more intensive soft skills intervention with the overall aim of giving them the opportunity to compete confidently for the types of jobs that will enable them to work their way up. So this would be internships, apprenticeships, and graduate roles at some of the UK's leading companies, where people like them might be underrepresented. Corporate partnerships enable us to deliver our programs of activity. And these programs provide our partners with excellent staff volunteering and community engagement opportunities. They also act as a great way to get their employer branding out to a talent pool that they seek to attract. We're also the founders and organisers of the SOMOS initiative, the UK Social Mobility Awards, and the Social Mobility podcast. Definitely recommend you to listen to the Social Mobility podcast. Absolutely amazing speakers there. We encourage organisations to invest in diversifying their talent pool, to look at their recruitment processes. How do they attract? How do they engage a particular demographic that they're interested in attracting? Where do they seek candidates? How do they communicate with them? Do they seem approachable as an organisation? Could the language used in the adverts or on your careers page be putting off some potential applicants? Are perhaps the academic requirements and experience that you ask for really essential? Could some of that be taught? Are the various stages of the process open, and are they really needed? Could the process be shorter, maybe? We also help organisations look at specific issues around retention and progression of staff that are from racial minorities or from a lower socioeconomic background. And by enabling them to identify and address any of these issues, we can help strengthen their practices, which should, in the long term, result in enabling them to build a diverse pipeline of future leaders through a fair and transparent process that deliver on equity and result in a more inclusive and diverse workforce, which is what we all want. We know this sector is something many young people see as a dream job, but a dream job that is too far out of their reach. When you don't know anyone in the industry, it's not always clear where to find these jobs and how to apply. The perception is often that you need to know someone that actually works in the industry, or be able to afford subscriptions to magazines, be able to afford to travel to tech events, be bubbly and outgoing, have access to the latest hardware and software, have reliable internet, access to data. We know that's an issue. We hear it all the time from our young people, but we want to challenge some of these perceptions with your support and enable everyone who is passionate about gaming and creative tech and VFX to pursue their dream, regardless of their background. We've recently embarked on a great work experience program with NetSpeak Games. Some of you might have heard. Not sure if NetSpeak Games are here today, so big wave to you if you are. We were introduced to them via Yuki, who also attended our social mobility fair last year. Programs like this will enable NetSpeak Games to provide a group of students from a less advantaged background with a week's virtual work experience so that they can experience some of the roles people do at NetSpeak and help the students understand the industry better, bridging that gap. We also hope it will break down any myths or misconceptions that the students have about the industry. This is an amazing opportunity for students and a great opportunity for organisations like you to demonstrate their commitment to social mobility. We want more games, more FX, more creative tech companies to come forward and be involved in this type of activity, ideally with us. So we'll be available to answer any questions that you may have to continue discussion. So please, if you have any questions now, just jot them down and we'll be happy to answer those questions afterwards. But among the many areas that we would like to expand our partnerships certainly is the creative tech sector. So we're really interested in hearing from you. We want you to join us and to widen the gate of opportunity. We want to connect school children with professionals like you, to inspire them to explore a future career in this sector. And we want to enable graduates to compete on a more level playing field and feel confident when they are applying for the jobs that they want in this sector. And we want organisations like yourselves that are active and interested in social mobility to be recognised for their efforts through entering the UK Social Mobility Awards, being a partner to the SOMOS initiative and inspiring other organisations to follow in your footsteps. So I'm actually going to hand you over to Eugene. Eugene.
Thanks, Coleman. So I'm Eugene. What is social justice and why should this be a key part of every organisation's social mobility strategy? Here's a slide taken from the howardblast.com website to illustrate. It's based on an original image attributed to Craig Froley. Social mobility strives for equity and ultimately what we all want is social justice to promote equality in the areas of wealth, health, well-being, justice, privileges and economic status. So where do you start along this journey? Do your research. What have been the emerging trends? Learn from others who have started their journey. What does success look like? Identify areas in the business to focus activity. Put together a business case for advancing social mobility and make sure you include a budget. Enlist a champion, a senior leader in the organisation who has influence and is supportive of the move. Design the programme, keep it simple, initiate a partner who has experience in delivering social mobility activity. Start. Doing something small is better than doing nothing at all. Remember to build in key indicators of progress and milestones that can be mapped and review at all stages. Evaluate what worked well. Did the programme achieve the desired outcomes and objectives? Why or why not? What did you learn? How can you build in any adaptations? Our programmes at MTL help to reduce socio-economic barriers and we involve our partners like you hopefully. You can be involved in project activity like our work experience or mentoring programmes or embark on our diversity recruitment programme. We get access to our amazing pool of candidates and through the SOMOs you can achieve recognition for your achievements in advancing social mobility. The organisations that have started their journey shows that anyone can be involved in social mobility activity and they can receive recognition for their achievements through the SOMOs. So let's go through the various categories. No matter how big or small the work your organisation is doing, you'll be listed in the Roll of Honour. For many companies, their first step into advancing social mobility would be to involve the community. And if that's the case, then the Community Programme of the Year could be your chosen category. If you're building a talent pipeline and want to employ beneficiaries from a less advantaged background, regardless of the number you want to employ, then you may wish to consider entering the Recruitment Programme of the Year. Once the beneficiaries are onboarded and in employment for a period of time? What processes or routes are in place for ensuring they progress? Those that have developed such routes would enter the progression programme of the year. Once you've established your programme and your projects and start creatively building exciting new programmes, we have the innovation category. If you are inspiring others and integrating social mobility actions within your supply chain or other partners or amongst your networks, then you are leading others in the field. This lends itself to Leadership of the Year. We would always suggest to have a senior leader, a project sponsor who will support your social mobility activity. This would be the social mobility champion, and maybe also a young person who's driving this initiative can be the rising star in the organisation. And in terms of helping you with the delivery of the programme, with all your activity, a mentor fits the category. Once you've got all of this, you'll be absolute experts, and then you potentially can apply for the Organisation of the Year. We recognise we are living in extraordinary and unprecedented times, and we are really keen to hear from organisations who were delivering some social mobility activity during the pandemic, no matter the size of it. Join the Roll of Honour and join other organisations in doing their bit to advance social mobility in the UK. And as they say, small acorns can grow into very big trees. Thank you very much.